In the world's largest two-wheeler market, one name has dominated both roads and reputations. That's Honda. What does it take to lead not just in sales but in trust? And that too year after year. In this edition of Brand Dialogues, we speak with Yogesh Mathur, Director Sales and Marketing and member of the board at Honda Motorcycle and Scooter India. From building icons like Activa and CB Shine to navigating the rise of EV challengers, he shares rare insights into the brand ethos, strategic thinking, and the trust engine behind Honda's leadership story. Yogesh-san, it's such a pleasure to be in your Manesar two-wheeler plant of Honda. And this is where you manufacture motorcycles, scooters, and so many 30 plus brands over here. And you yourself have been with the company for about 25 odd years. And I think the company is also completed 25 years. So were you the first employee of the sort? Is it true?
Thanks for being here. And we are celebrating this year our 25th anniversary. We have entered into the 25th years of our operations. And this is actually our mother factory. We started in 2001, our production from this particular plant. And our first model at that time was Activa.
Really?
Yeah.
So interesting.
Yeah. So thank you for being here.
No, when you mentioned that, I must jump to this question. It's Activa is an iconic brand. We kind of relate to it in many ways. All of us do, especially those who have gone to Goa. The first vehicle that you capture is an Activa, easy to ride.
Yeah.
But I think what's happening is that it has entered into the minds and hearts of people. So what, makes that happen like this? Why is it so deeply entrenched?
Yeah, I remember in 2001 once we were entering into this segment of the automatic scooter. At that time, actually, scooter's contribution was very, very minuscule at that time, and the shift was happening towards the motorcycle.
Perhaps only a few brands also, not very many brands.
Correct. So once we were entering into, it was being touted that we are making a big mistake to enter into an automatic scooters. But once we entered, Honda Activa came. And from that time onwards, this is the flagship model which currently we have. And currently also, after 25 years, this is the highest selling two-wheeler brand still for us.
I don't think in the two-wheeler segment there would be any other brand such that continues to lead after 25 years.
Yeah. So we definitely call it as an iconic brand, and it has really created a legacy in India. And we have done a lot of avatars also for the Activa. So from the first 2001 onwards, now we have multiple time upgraded and made sure that it actually resemble to the needs of the consumers.
Right.
So we continue to upgrade those products and continue to excite the customers. And this particular product is really close to our heart because we have been able to cater to the wide range of the spectrum of the people who are actually using it, starting from 18 to 60. So the longest and the widest kind of, demographic we are serving through this particular brand. So we are very, very happy with the way how Activa as a brand has, evolved over a period of time.
So it's not only close to your heart, it's close to seemingly every Indian's heart because 8 years in a row, you're the most trusted in our list, which is, 15-year-old report called TRA's Brand Trust Report. And very rarely does a brand continue to stay, especially in a very fluid, kind of a sector like two-wheelers. Is there a magic to this? What is the magic that you've done to Activa apart from innovating?
See, the only simple magic is that, continue to excite the heart of the consumers. We have been, discussing with all our, consumers who has kept their faith and, repose their faith unto the brand Activa. We continue to look at in terms of what is their need. And basis on that need, we continue to, evolve our brand Activa. And today it is actually been touted as the most iconic, which has got the reliability, trust, and the most affordable as well from their families. And we have seen that from that time onwards now, the automatic scooters almost reached to almost kind of 35-36% of the total two-wheeler market, which was kind of almost non-existent in 2001.
I remember at the first time, we were so surprised that you could press a button and something would start. I think it was yours.
Yeah, automatic scooter, yes. So we have seen over a period of time that there is a shift which is happening. And from that time of 2001, we have also seen that a lot of change has happened in terms of the overall economy as well as the overall infrastructure, and in terms of the buying pattern of the consumer as well. And we have seen that why this kind of a change has happened overall, reaching to almost more than a third of the total two-wheeler market being only the scooters. So there are many factors which are actually driving this particular thing. One is in terms of that now the female population is growing, and you know uh, India's GDP in per capita income is still not very high as compared to the other developed countries. So we still are developing economy, and in which the per capita income really creates a challenge in terms of people owning the two-wheelers in their family. So from that perspective, it is a co-usage in the family. So if you have to buy only a product, one product, because your income does not allow you to buy two products, so co-usage is one parameter. And as females are also growing in, so definitely it can cater to that both the customers as well. This is one aspect. Second, if we compare the divide between the scooter and motorcycle, why people were preferring motorcycle was primarily the mileage part. So initial days, if I remember in 2001 to that time, it was very difficult for us to convince consumers that why scooter, because scooter doesn't give the mileage. That was the kind of perception people used to carry. So once we brought in, and especially the automatic scooters, people were really hesitant initially that whether it can really come at par in terms of the mileage of the motorcycle. So thankfully, with our ESP technology and many innovations we brought into this particular product, we have made sure that at least the mileage is as comparable to the motorcycles.
I'll ask one question, which is, so international developments come to India very often. But for Honda, has any Indian development gone international?
See, for Honda, the important aspect is, as we are aware, that we are present in many countries, and India being the biggest two-wheeler market as of now, so it becomes closer to the heart of the Honda as well, and it is very important market for us as well. So once we have to develop the product, it is not that we will be developing it only from Japan. We will definitely come in the India or the market which we represent. We need to go to the market, closer to market, understand the consumer's need, what they actually require, and also try to find out in terms of what are the pain point and what is their expectation from a two-wheeler. So we do a lot of research and study in terms of what the consumer patterns, and then basis on that the product has been developed. So it is not just 1 month or 2 month kind of survey. It requires a lot of effort in terms of understanding the consumers, and then this particular product has come up.
And one thing I can tell you, knowing customers, we do studies on customers as well, consumers, and it's not an easy task to decipher their mind, even though they're saying the right thing. So that's what you've done, I think, continuously. It shows.
Yes.
But two questions come in. One is with the fact that youth and how it's growing. Well, India has also got a median age of 25, 26. Very youthful country, and therefore there's a lot of scope. And you said it's also growing in GDP, not only that. Therefore, a lot of scope ahead.
Yeah.
And women, of course, though only occupy a small portion in India, 10%. Globally, I think the percentage is 21% as an occupation of the number of scooters that they buy. So it is true that Indian children, girl child, may not be, while we have many of them, the rural areas, I think more predominantly still male. Do you do anything that makes it specifically female oriented?
Yeah, so we also understood that there was a co-usage definitely, and many of the female workforce have started coming into the employment, and they actually reside closer to the main cities. For example, if we are talking about Delhi, so near to Delhi, there are a lot of villages from where the females are actually coming into the main city, and there is a lack of public transport. So keeping that in mind, one of the another challenge which we also faced was that the road infrastructure, especially connecting between the urban and the rural area, was really not very good, maybe around 10-15 years back. But now the road infrastructure is very good, and now you can even reach, still the public transport is not there. So it actually works as a kind of personal mobility. So from that personal mobility space, also it has got more safety as compared to the motorcycle.
feels safer.
Yeah, more safer, and it has got a lot of space also. So sometimes you have to buy back certain goods back from the urban area going to the rural area. So from that perspective also, there is enough of
I've
this
seen
space.
people carry their dogs, large dogs, in the front part of.
Yeah, we have seen many of the people actually using such product, especially carrying a lot of stuff on to the scooter. So scooter kind of kind of a small utility vehicle for them.
It is, I think.
Yeah, so it basically serves the needs, all type of need of the consumer, and that's why Activa is Activa. Like today.
I think so. It still remains active and Activa,
Yes.
yes. So today in the world of two-wheelers, four-wheelers, this new term EV is coming. And it is seeming to break a lot of barriers, though may not be in too many numbers. But I think they seem to have got the fancy of both investors and consumers. There's something going on. And it seems to just pop up like brands which you didn't know. There are names that I can take which will don't even know that they're into this, and they come into EVs. So how does Honda deal with this?
Yeah, so our global vision is that by 2050 we have to be carbon neutral. So we are working diligently in terms of making sure that we aim towards that carbon neutral theme. And from that perspective, by 2040, all our products will also be carbon neutral.
Right.
So we are not just looking at only one type of technology, that is EV. We are working even on the flex fuel as well.
Right, right.
Because
just like hydrogen fuel and the likes.
No, flex fuel basically. So bioethanol fuel.
Additional.
Yeah. So if you look at current all the EVs, definitely yes, it saves on the environment, but practically this electricity is being generated from
somewhere.
which source?
Yeah.
So currently all majority of the electricity is coal fired. So it is still not carbon neutral. So India has a long way to really go towards the carbon neutral thing. India's target is by 2070, I think it is carbon neutral. So we are 20 years prior to that. So in all our processes, we will make sure that at least, we take care on the carbon neutral theme. On the other side, EV is important, yes. And we have also launched 2 of our models. So
which are they? What are the names?
So there are 2 products. Basically, we are catering into 2 distinct type of technology in EV space. So we understood a lot in terms of what consumers' pain points are there, especially the charging of the battery takes a lot of time. Also, we checked is in terms of that there is a residual value, the overall resale value. So after 3 years, 4 years, the life of the battery actually goes down. So by that time, the resale value actually also deteriorate. And there were service issues also were coming in, and the customer's pain point was there. A lot of parts were not being available. So we understood all those requirements. So we wanted to address, once we will be coming in, we also make sure that at least once we come, we have to have those kind of solutions in place, and then we come. So last year in November, we launched 2 models. So one was Activa E and another is QC1.
Okay.
So we are working in 2 distinct technology. So one is the swappable battery mechanism, so which is Activa E.
Right.
So this is a very unique concept. So normally once you go for a refill of the fuel, it takes around 2 minutes or so. So we developed the BEX infrastructure, the battery exchange infrastructure. And in that battery exchange infrastructure, if you are subscribing the battery, within a minute, you can replace fully charged battery from that battery.
Where can you replace it?
So we have a battery exchange stations which we have created.
Like a petrol station?
Like a petrol stations. So these battery exchange stations have been created. So we started, because this infrastructure has to be created from us.
Right.
So we started from Bangalore. So right now Bangalore, and then this month we have started in Delhi as well.
Super.
And then we will be going for Mumbai as well. So over a period of time, step by step manner, we will be going to set up all those infrastructure in place. And then customers can definitely exchange the battery as per their own convenience. And our intent is that within 5 kilometers, they will be at least finding one BEX stations for the food.
So it's a very strange situation, right? You're a car manufacturer and you have to also build the petrol station. So you're like that, you're doing that. That's a very strange situation.
Yeah. So this is very, very unique and very, different kind of technology. And in this, the ownership of the battery does not really remain with the consumer.
Actually, it's your property.
So it is basically the battery as a service.
Wow.
So we are giving on that. So, and since the longevity and the resale value was, one of the biggest challenge. So we made sure that at least once we are coming up, we need to make sure that at least the product should remain, the longevity of the product should remain almost equivalent to an ICE.
Right.
So keeping that in mind, the quality and fit and finish of the product is excellent. They need not to really worry, because for the consumer, it is every time once they come to the BEX, they will be finding a completely charged new battery.
Absolutely. It makes
so they need not to worry at all.
Right.
And also we wanted to make sure that the infrastructure at our dealerships, because we have got almost 6,000 plus touch points pan India. So we wanted to make sure that we go in a step by step manner to upgrade the infrastructure at our dealership as well. And basis on that, we imparted training. We were the first in the industry to also bring in the shock proof, all the tools also for the employee as well. So we are
in the factory,
in the workshops, in the dealership.
all right.
So they need not to worry about, because there were a lot of incident in terms of those things as well. So we also took care of that aspect. So we trained our people, we created the infrastructure, we imparted the know-how to all the people. We make sure that at least the parts are being available so that consumer need not to suffer anything on that aspect. So this was Activa I. Then we also parallelly had the QC1. This is another fixed battery type. So we also studied how much is the average, daily ride for a EV customer. So they average travel roughly around 20 to 30 kilometers per day. And they were worried in terms of the weight of the battery is too high.
Okay.
Especially the females were not able to,
Pick up and
and on. So from that perspective also, we thought that we should also develop another, product which can cater to such kind of a need of the user. So we developed this product of QC1, which is a fixed battery type. So you can charge at your home at per your convenience.
From the regular electrical appliance?
From the regular, yes. So they can charge at their home. So it is much convenient, light in weight, and can cater to the daily need of the consumers. And that also has got almost the same kind of a quality, fit and finish. And it is around 1.5 kilowatt battery. So it's very, very good product. So
I'm sure it'll do considerably well as you go by.
yeah,
Despite all competition, considering how you focus on research to find out what you should do. And you're not quick in research. You're taking your own time. You're saying, I will take the time to understand and then we'll develop. Wonderful. One last question. You said you were, in fact, inspired by you, what you said. You said that, EV is just one milestone in the entire long range of, let's say, even carbon neutral for the company or the country. Because I think to all vehicles contribute to so much of the pollution that's there. So what do you see as the future? 10 years, just a decade for Honda. And I'm sure you have that vision. What do you see happening as for Honda itself in the two-wheeler segment?
See, last 25 years have been very, very exciting. Globally, we have already touched around 500 million consumers.
Congratulations.
And this year, we are also celebrating 70 million in India out of that. So India being very, very important for global Honda's perspective, and India being the biggest two-wheeler, market for Honda as well as for anybody else. So keeping that in mind, we are focusing in terms of how we can further strengthen our portfolio. If you look at Southeast Asian country, mainly Asian countries, so our market shares are very, very high, ranging between 70%, 80% kind of market share. So people have a complete, faith on brand Honda and trust. Yeah, like trust.
Yes.
So keeping that in mind, once we see here over the last so many years now, we have reached around 27.4% market share till last fiscal year. And that gives a lot of opportunity.
Absolutely.
So from 27%, we have a huge opportunity to grow. So keeping that in mind, recently we have introduced two new models. So which is one is Shine 100 Deluxe and another is CB125 Hornet. So you talked about something pertaining to the youngsters, right?
Yes.
So India is growing young for sure.
It is.
Right. So, and they are actually driving the sales as well. And these are the people who are actually driven by the digital space, right?
Right.
They are connected globally, so they know what is happening globally. And they are always expecting that Honda should bring in a lot of, products which match the global standard available in the India at their own affordable price. So keeping those in mind, all these models have been developed, and CB125 Hornet is the right product for all these Gen Z and youngsters.
For entry.
Yeah. So the youngster, because as I said, around 30 to 40% of the people are the first time buyer, especially once we are going into a college. They will always be looking at that my product should resemble my own identity.
Absolutely.
So if such thing has to happen, they are not really looking at it in terms of the performance. They are looking at that that two-wheeler which I am currently using is an extension of my own personality.
Right.
So from that personality point of view, CB125 Hornet actually makes the right link with such kind of consumers.
This is great to know where you're going, and I'm sure with the 25 years that's gone by, you'll have another, many decades more of Indian prowess, and I think a global share for the Indian Honda market will also increase.
Yeah.
Congratulations again on the
Thank you.
triple win,
Thank you.
and thank you very much for the time.
Thank you. Thank you.
Trust, scale, and brand clarity. Honda's journey in India is more than a market success story. It's a lesson in long-term brand stewardship. Thank you to Yogesh Mathur for sharing not just strategy, but perspective. Watch the space for the next edition. Until then, this is Chandramouli signing off. Stay inspired, stay curious.